Hey, all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly value, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hello, everyone. So, this is a kind of an exciting day today. A couple of really good things happened. First and foremost, a dear friend took their shahada today. And if you Muslim, you know exactly what that really means, and witnessing somebody come into Islam is always a reminder for you to witness that. So, alhamdulillah to that. The other thing is I got to upgrade to some equipment. I ended up getting a desktop because I've been working off a MacBook for the last couple of years. I always forget to bring the mic down. But anyway, I've been working on a MacBook last couple of years. And while that's cool, I decided to get a desktop. So I got a Mac Studio. So it's awesome. I haven't set it up yet. So it's kind of awesome. Today's been really good. So I've been thinking some things over. And I decided that I needed to do a series. And I needed to do a series on something that we overlook a lot of times. Are my notifications not coming out or something? Do y'all get my notifications? There's not enough people in here. In any case, I wanted to talk about sign language, but not in the way that we always talk about it. You know, I'm going to bring a different perspective, and I'm going to speak on something from or in a way that we have not done. And sign language, Cynical say he rarely gets notifications. Yeah. I'm starting to see what's going on with YouTube and me. But anyway, sign language is not just frustrating conversations. Sign language is not just annoying. Sign language isn't just something that goes on that we're just kind of, you roll your eyes and you keep going. There are many moving parts to the dysfunction of the Black community that we call the gynocracy. There are many, many moving parts of that. And one of the most significant moving parts is the use of sign language. The use of sign language. Shame, insult, guilt and the need to be right. So since this is 4 parts, we're going to focus on each one each day. And today, for part 1, we're going to focus on shame. Because now that it has been qualified, now that we are able to determine when we're hearing or encountering sign language, it's time to break it down. Because it is used so often that we could name it. And no tool that is used that often is unimportant to what you build. It's not a rare tool. It's a really, really common weapon that gynocrats and that hyenas wield in order to maintain the dysfunction of our communities. Hey, how you doing, sweetheart? How you doing, Miss Chantel? Let me get to these super chats because I got 2 and y'all have kicked them off. Thank you, Malika. Said peace and love to you, sister. Thank you so much. Thank you, author. So I stand with you, our honorable, beautiful sister Kendra, 10 toes for each dollar down. Thank you so much, sweetheart. And thank you, Dee. So I'm going to send a wedding gift, even though you said no. This is just a little something for whatever you and your family need. Love the show. Oh, thank you. Thank you so very much. I had to change it because I think they were trying to use the sound bite as a reason to sort of copyright strike me. I'm gonna find another one, but I wanted something for the meantime. I'm gonna diligently look because I want a money sound. But thank you so much, Dee. Thank you so very much, sweetheart. Okay. So when you use a tool as often as hyenas use sign language, then that's a very important tool. It's a tool important enough not to be overlooked and not to be underestimated. The sound is supposed to be money clinking and then like a money counter. The sound that a money counter makes. That's what it's supposed to be. But I'm going to get another one because I don't completely like that one. But the other money sounds that I found were even worse than that. And they were shorter than that. So I'm like, but I wanted something for people's contributions. I didn't want to be blank and I didn't want to use the sound that I've been using. I have never taught in any school system. No, I am not a teacher in the traditional sense of that word. So we're actually going to define something. The basic definition of the word shame is a painful feeling of humiliation or distress that is caused by the consciousness or wrong or by I don't like the way I wrote that down. Anyway, shame is the painful feeling of humiliation or distress caused by being conscious of a wrongdoing or foolish behavior. Okay? Shame is a painful feeling of humiliation or distress that is caused by being conscious of a wrongdoing or a foolish behavior. Now, the psychological definition, when we get into psychology, they have a deeper description, a deeper definition of shame. Shame is a self-critical emotion that is often cited as a moral emotion caused by violations of important moral or social standard. So a shame is a self-critical. This is something that you do for yourself. This is something that you do internally to yourself. It is self-criticizing, a self-critical emotion that is often cited as a moral emotion caused by violations of important moral or social standard. Caused by violation, we're going to come back to that, of an important moral or social standard. Individuals who experience shame usually perceive themselves as defective and display a negative consideration of themselves. It is associated with avoiding failure and its consequences, while guilt is connected with forgiving and improving oneself along with making amends. But we're not going to go into guilt. So we're going to go back over the psychological implication or the psychological definition of shame. It is a self-critical emotion that is often cited as a moral emotion caused by violations of important moral or social standards. Individuals who experience shame usually perceive themselves as defective and display a negative consideration of themselves. It is associated with avoiding failure and its consequences, while guilt is connected with forgiving and improving oneself along with making amends. Now think about any time, online or offline, in your life, in your real physical life or your online life. Think about the instances where hyenas have used shame. I want you to think about for the men and the women. See, today, I'm not even talking about just what they do to men, because our entire community is in trouble. I'm not talking about just how the gynocracy affects the men, because see, the women, the lionesses, are also attacked in this exact same way. See, they don't differ in their modus operandi. They are always utilizing the same set of tools for everybody. They utilize the same set of tools for everybody. Because you will even see, and put a 1 in the chat if you've seen it, you will see a male gynocrat. You will see a male gynocrat utilize sign language against other men that are not hyenas, gynocrats, and male feminists. And dudes be like, dude, what are you doing? What are you saying? Why you so off script? Why are you so out of whack? That's because they are utilizing sign language. They are also utilizing shame, insult, guilt, and the need to be right in defense of foolishness that does not benefit him. That's why the men look so cross-eyed at a male hyena, because he's upholding the gynocracy and he don't even benefit from it. They trample over him. They stomp over him. They'll turn around and use the sign language on him. They'll turn around and ostracize him. They'll turn around and talk greasy about him. They'll turn around and throw him under the bus. The very male hyena that came out to try to face down a lion or a lioness get mauled by his own hyena clan. How many times have we witnessed this? How many times have we witnessed a male gynocrat come to put his cape on, put his blue simp cape on, and run to the defense of a hyena that would eat him as soon as she would speak to him? And then he be sitting back. This is when you get red pill, because then he be sitting back looking like, dang, how she gonna do that when I have been bending over backwards? I have made myself a footstool for the gynocracy. How dare she turn against me? Because that's the nature of the gynocracy. That's what they do. That is what a hyena will do. Cannibalize their own. I was just watching. See, this is why I say it's not just hyenas with the men. Cause I was just watching. Shout out to a breakdown, the breakdown of woman's perspective. They had pimp cap on there, trucker cap, big cap. Y'all know who I'm talking about. The queen. Shout out to little big sis called her the Queen Breaker. She run around here making women's crowns crooked and breaking them and putting cubic zirconias in there where crown jewels need to be. And y'all falling up after this chick. I might do a breakdown of that. Because all I did was listen. All I did was listen, and I realized where all the pain and the hurt was coming from. Oh, you hurt. And ain't worked through nan part of that trauma. Not one part of that. And she was using sign language against Concrete Rose and Sister George. So see, it's not limited to when they try to do it with men. They try to do it with anybody. I'm going to tell you who they do it against. And then once you understand that, I'll be able to go through the various forms of shame that they attempt to apply. First, let me get to these super chats real quick. Thank you, Miss 39 Dina. I appreciate you, sweetheart. Thank you, SL. So listen, I had to catch a live show and drop something in the collection plate. I think it was Friday's show with you doing a transgender that was hilarious. Had me dying and crying, laughing. Thank you. And continue to be great. Y'all be silly. Sometimes y'all catch me in the zone. I get to doing impressions. But thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jeffrey. Said no honor among thieves behavior. Exactly. Thank you. The Malika said the hyena maker. Yeah, the back foot maker. The back foot maker. Now, the reason why I thought to ask you all about when was the last time, or when to think about the last time or the instances where you had a hyena talking to you and using shaming language to talk to you, because it is cited. We go back to the psychological definition. It is cited as a moral emotion. So the first thing that they trying to do is get you in an emotional state. Because if you are in an emotional state, then what state are you not in? If you are in an emotional state, what state are you not in? Because you can only be in one or the other, not both at the same time. So if you are in an emotional state, then you are not in a state of reason and logic. You're not in a logical space. So if you are in a emotional space, then you are automatically in an chaotic space. So it's designed to get you out of your logical, reasonable, rational mind state, and then get you in your emotional state where there is not a lot of logic and thinking going on anyway. You're reacting rather than responding. This is how they lead into deflections. This is how they lead into spinning the narratives and moving the goalposts, because they've now gotten you out of your logical thinking space into an emotional space where you just responding and you're not responding, you're reacting to try to defend yourself and all types of things. Thank you so much. I don't have a sound clip big enough for this, but thank you so much. I sincerely appreciate your work and the knowledge you provide. Just wanted to drop in and show support since you're live. Respect to you and your teachers. Thank you, UNC or Big Unk. All right. Thank you. I'm going to use the $20 one. All right. Because I like that one a little bit more. Thank you for such an incredible support and contribution. Thank you so much. So very, very humbled and grateful for that. Thank you so much, UNC. So here's what it is. They get you into an emotional space. So it's cited as a moral emotion. Not only do they get you in an emotional space, they get you to question yourself based on morality, that it is immoral to do what? Violate. So to complete the thought, it is a self-critical emotion that is often cited as a moral emotion caused by violation. Now, see, this is when they get you violated them. Violations of important moral or social standards. This is critical because the hyenas in our community, the males and the females, but the females particularly, are very well versed. They have done it and subjected us since we were children into a mindset where we cannot criticize them, we cannot critique, we cannot hold accountable, we cannot point out any discrepancy, wrongdoing, bad behavior, uncouth behavior. We can't point out anything because they have trained us since childhood that doing so, that doing any of that, thank you, Ben Cisco, we've been brainwashed that doing any of these things, and it started with your mother. We have been brainwashed that calling her out, holding her accountable, saying anything, any little thing, it do not matter what it is or what it was about or how it was said or where it was said or what your intention was when you said it or any of that. None of it, doing all of that is a violation of the social standard of the hyena clan, of the gynocracy. Socially, you're morally wrong. Do you understand? You're morally wrong. The black woman is God. The black mother is God. You're morally wrong to question her. It's akin to blasphemy, like you do, like a person who believes in God or a person that believes in Allah would not say certain things because it is blasphemous. It is sacrilegious to do so. So you stay away from certain wording and certain expressions when it comes to God, because it's God. Now, why is it like that? Why is it like that? Why is it blasphemy against God? Because God has a couple of qualities. For those of us who believe in God, God has a couple of qualities. God is all-knowing. Okay? God is all-seeing. Okay? God is fair. He's just. God is holy. So God is beyond reproach. This is why when things happen, when circumstances and conditions happen to you in your life that were beyond your control, you don't start. A person that don't want to blaspheme would never get to blaming God for all the stuff that go on in their life. Oh, I can't stand God because God done did this and God has done that. See, a person who is devout would never do that because of the qualities of that God. The God is infallible. Don't make mistakes. Is no such thing as a oopsie with God. So you don't blaspheme. Black women have taken that persona for themselves in the Black community. She is beyond reproach. And even though she is a completely fallible, full of faults, full of all kinds of negativity, full of all kinds of problems, full of all kinds of faulty mindsets and behavior, you can't blaspheme against her because as your mother, she's all powerful in your life. I brought you in this world, I'll take you out. That is attempting to have control or dominion over death and life. And the only being that has dominion over death and life is Allah. It's God. So you can't question her. Because as your mother, not only is she your God, she's your master. Right? Because your God is your master. Your God is your ultimate master. If you believe in a God, and you following Christianity, you following Islam, you following, you know what I'm saying, you are Hebrew Israelite, whatever it is that you are, whatever denomination you are following some kind of law or rule or regulation from that God. So that God, in effect, becomes the master of your life, because you ultimately are getting the directives of your life from that being that you're worshiping. She has taken that place in the gynocracy. You don't question. So now to question her is akin to blasphemy. And if you question her, if you attempt to hold her accountable, if you attempt to bring up anything, to say anything, and I do mean it can be the smallest thing, you can't say it. Can't say it. Because if you do, you are in a violation of an important moral or social standard. So her use of shaming language is meant for you to get back in line yourself. Before she has to go to greater measures to get you back in line, she'll shame you first. Because shame is a self-critical emotion. You will self-correct. If she shames you, you will self-correct. You'll be, oh, my bad, you'll become apologetic, because that is one of the ways in which you address shame. Oh, we gonna really get into it. But after these messages, we'll be right back.
Hey, brothers, I want to tell you about a website called blackmenszone.com. Now, Black Men's Zone is a site that specifically targets black men. It's a place where black men talk about issues that solely affect them. Now, at Black Men's Zone, the topics will range from news to society, sports, technology, business, food and recipes. Some brothers got to cook too. Gaming, and some of your brothers like doing some of that. Health and fitness, got to get your workout on. Music, movies, and many other topics. Now, there's not many forums around these days for black men, and because black men have to create them. Now, this particular website is more of a forum based, something simple, not social media. You can write what you need to write, say what you need to say, get off pretty quick. But if you're interested, brothers, to at least go there, and I want you to check it out, engage in the topics, go to blackmenszone.com, sign up for an account, and get engaged in the conversation.
So definitely go ahead and hit the link at the top of the chat, blackmenszone.com. Go ahead and join the forum. This particular forum is specifically for black men only. So if you are a black man and you are interested in speaking about a wide array of various different subject matters that interest you, go ahead and sign up for that forum, register for it, become part of the conversation, or start a conversation of your own. Once again, hit the link at the top of the chat, blackmenszone.com. And I know I probably owe y'all a bam, 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 bam. You got to hit the like button. Bam, bam. You got to go ahead and hit that like button, because we've got 746 wonderful people in here. So we should have some a similar like count. And I'm gonna say something about it. Please hit the like button and go ahead and engage. Subscribe if you notice that you have not been subscribed to the channel, so that you can get the notifications, so that we can get back into the algorithm, because right now I'm not really in the algorithm. And the algorithm is controlled by more than just the content that you actually put out. Okay. This is why I'm going to do some moving around, some shaking and baking in the upcoming months. on this channel. Side note, sometimes my videos in the morning are freshly cut and sometimes they are not, as of late. You may have noticed, put a 2 in the chat if you noticed, that sometimes it seems to pick up in the middle and cut off in the middle. This is me going back into the archives of my live streams and creating short form videos out of them. And I'm doing so with the older live streams because sometimes I've said something profound and I said it perfectly. So I'm going ahead and there are times when I'm going to be posting it as a short form because those live streams are an hour, maybe a little bit more than an hour. Sometimes people don't want to go back to it, can't go back to it, and may have forgotten what I said. But I don't really forget what I say. So they're going into short form just to hit certain points that was made, just in case you don't have time. For those of you who don't have time to go back and listen to an entire hour of a show that might have been 6 months old. You might have forgotten where you even heard me say a certain thing. You don't know which show it was. So that's what's happening. YouTube is not messing with it. I'm editing it like that. And I hope you guys don't mind. Because it be some little points in them live streams. You know, a live stream is a whole hour. And sometimes, like I said, you don't want to go sit for a whole hour. So I get the juicy parts for you. I'm going to get the juicy part for you. So you don't have to sit through an hour to hit a juicy part. Now, let me get to the super chats. Thank you, Well B says, Sister Kendra, every time I believe you have reached the peak of your lessons and wisdoms, you top it. Thank you. I try to outdo myself. I try to always think deeper than what we've gone, because there's always a new lesson to be learned. Thank you, Mass Man. So the thirst for power and control in Black women is out of control, actually very akin to white supremacy. That answers a lot of questions, doesn't it? See, this is why I liken it to white supremacy. Thank you, Chano. So the shame attack isn't a feminine process for Black boys. It definitely is. And thank you, Pharaoh. So I like to send the shorts to my friends. Yeah, thank you so much for saying that, because that was the other idea, that sometimes you want to share and you know that the people that you're sharing with is not going to sit for an hour to get out of it what you just got out of it if you caught me live. So short form videos from some of it. Now, every once in a, you know, it's going to be a mixed bag. So sometimes you're going to get that freshly cut video because we talking about something and I didn't want to let it go. So it's a new topic or a hot topic or something like that. So I want to share something with you, because like I said, the sign language itself, the entire thing is a hyena's most powerful set of weapons or set of tools to maintain a corrupted order or to maintain the dysfunction that allows her to continue in her destruction. And that is the consistent, unrelenting use of sign language. We're going to go into it. It is used on every member of her environment. She is no respecter of persons. When she uses sign language, she'll use it on friend and foe alike. Friendly fire all the time from a hyena. She don't care who you are. You can be her man, you can be her child, you could be a co-worker, her so-called friend, you could be a sibling, you could be a family member. She's going to use it. She's going to use sign language for everybody in her environment, her home, her family, her friends, co-workers, associates, even strangers, if she thinks it will work. Why would they try to use it for strangers? Because hyenas know that it is a widespread mindset and brainwashing that the worship of Black women, or at least instilling fear in you from holding her accountable, is something widespread. It should have been inculcated into you as a child. So even if you are an adult and your conscious mind says that doesn't make any sense, why would I accept shame language for doing something that is normal, like call somebody out on their whacked out behavior? See, it's seated in your subconscious. That's what brainwashing is. It's in your subconscious. So you still feel that something, because it has been ingrained in you that it is a violation. It's a moral violation. Not just any violation, it's a moral one. And human beings do not like to be wrong. The human being does not like to transgress their own moral code, because you feel like a piece of crap when you do that. When you transgress anything that you have already placed inside of your principles, your moral code, or anything like that, you feel bad for having transgressed it. Because a human being's moral compass and the principles by which they live are a part of their identity. So you don't ever want to violate that. Are we keeping up? Are we picking up what I'm putting down? Now I'm going to share something with you. Now I want to share something with you. I'm going to share the various kinds of shame. What does it mean to have shame? Shame is a feeling of embarrassment or humiliation that arises from the perception of having done something dishonorable, immoral, or improper. This is powerful. The human being does not like to dishonor themselves. We don't like to be immoral, and we do not like to be improper, especially if we consider ourselves good people. Okay? People who experience shame usually try to hide the thing they feel ashamed of. When shame is chronic, it can involve the feeling that you are fundamentally flawed. Shame can often be hard to identify in oneself. What are the symptoms of shame? We're going to try to make this a little bit bigger so y'all can see it. Symptoms of shame: feeling sensitive or being worried about what others think of you. We do that as children. This is most profound when she shames us as children. We are worried about how she's going to perceive what we say and how we behave around her. Feeling unappreciated, used, or like others take advantage of you. This is key. When you are either her child or you are somebody in her life that she can get benefit from, you may be giving her benefit, but she's also at the same time making you feel unappreciated, used, and taken advantage of. She's misusing you. Feeling rejected, regretful, inadequate, or like you have little impact. You don't run me. You not my daddy. You not my husband. Who do you think you are to talk to me? You can't say that to me, no matter how much impact you actually have in their life. They might not even be able to get by without you, but they will belittle you to get you in a space where you don't feel like you have done anything. And you feel like all of your things that you've been doing is rejected. You feel like you regret having done anything for them. Or you start feeling like, well, maybe what I did was inadequate or not enough. Uncontrollable blushing or being afraid to look inappropriate or stupid. We're going to skip that one. That one's not as prominent. Worrying that you aren't treated with respect or wanting to have the last word. The disrespect is on 10,000. The disrespect be on a thou wow with these hyenas. They will disrespect you in a hot New York minute. You will be disrespected. They will fly out of their mouth with some foolishness that how you looking at them cockeyed like, excuse me? Excuse me? I know you ain't said that to me. Because see, a hyena real quick to let you know what you not, who you not in their lives. Not who you are, not how important you are in their lives, but how unimportant and inadequate you are. And that you need to be disrespected. You are not worthy of their respect. They got that backwards psychology on lock. Feeling that you can't be your true self, losing your identity, or not sharing your thoughts and feelings because you are afraid to be embarrassed. I'm gonna stop sharing on that one, come back to you. That one right there that I just read is that's for everybody. Oh, they get you good with that. They get you good. That's a big get you got you with the hyena. That's a big get you got you right there. Big get you got you. You can't be you. Now I'll tell you who they reserve it for. Who they reserve that for. When you are shamed out of being who you are around them. You can't be who you really are. You can't think how you really think. You can't have the concepts, ideas, opinions that you actually hold around them. And you, even if you do, you know full and well not to share it with these ignorant somebodies, because they gonna fly out of their mouth with a shaming language, some disrespect, and try to embarrass you about it. And they reserve the most vitriolic form of that for any lion or lioness that they encounter. See, the shame is utilized to maintain the gynocracy within the lost value system. Any person that has any inkling of not being in the lost value system, of not partaking in the gynocracy, of not upholding these lost values and these backwards values, she says the most vitriolic form of that for you. So if you're a dude, you might have the little swag she like. You know, you cool. You a cool dude, but you are also interested in things like chemistry, horticulture, any of the scientific disciplines, art. You might be a sculptor, a painter. you might be interested in any of these disciplines, anything that's not in her lost value system, anything she don't recognize, and what she recognizes, you can count on one hand and have fingers left over. She don't know nothing. She's very uninformed, very undereducated in world knowledge and common sense. She does not like anything that is not steeped in the lost value system. She don't like, this is why she don't like nothing that's not in that lost value system, baby. She don't like no spirituality that tell her the truth. This is why so many hyenas be running around talking about crystals and chakras and sage. They don't even half understand what any of that stuff is in the first place. They don't know what they could name for you all the chakras and what they do and what the chakras control and who you are when the chakras are closed versus who you are when the chakras are open. They don't know nothing about that. They just be going on Amazon getting little gemstones that the tarot person told them about on YouTube that they watch, because everything is about a zodiac sign. You see what I'm saying? So they only like spirituality that's formless and nameless and don't hold them accountable for nothing. Something they can just add to or take away from. You can ignore parts or you can take parts and you can add your own meaning to them and you can add your own interpretation to them and this and that. And there's nobody there. There's no governing body or anything like that to regulate what is or is not acceptable in this so-called spiritual system that you got. Full chaos. So she don't like nothing that ain't in this lost value system. She don't like nothing that tell her the truth. This is why holding her accountable is blasphemous. Notice it's in the spiritual value when I talked about her trying to liken herself to God. Oh, y'all don't hear me today. We deep diving today. You might as well put your scuba gear on. She likes things that is in the spiritual value that are not true. She don't like nothing that ain't about not caring. The two most popular or three most popular words out of a hyena mouth is I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. And she doesn't care about you or anybody else physically, emotionally, or mentally. I don't care. I don't care. Real give up about it. I don't care. I don't care. Oh, I hurt your feelings. I don't care. Oh, I did you dirty. I don't care. I hurt you physically. I got you killed, or I got you hurt, or I got you in jail, or I took your freedom, or I don't care. I did something to traumatize you. I don't care. I did something to put you in a bad spot. I don't care. I put you in financial ruin. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. The three most popular words that any hyena will ever say. Because she don't care. Because she don't care. She don't care. Don't think she playing. Don't ever think she's playing. She don't care. She don't care about your feelings. She don't care how she affect you. She doesn't care what she do to you. She don't care. No care. It's under the health value because health encompasses your spirit, your mental, emotional, and your physical health. She don't care. I don't care. Thank you, Elder being another one is another popular one is whatever. Yeah, because it means the same thing. Whatever. It's whatever. I said what I said. Thank you, Professor. Zaddy is their God. The gynocracy serves as the archangels governing over the Black community in league with their obedience to their place in the system of white supremacy. This is facts. Thank you, Barry Hamilton, for your super sticker. Thank you, Annie, for your super sticker as well. Thank you, Atlanta. Say your Sunday leftovers are on point. Thank you so much. Say you're amazing. Thank you so much, Simon. Thank you again, Chano. Said would extreme sarcasm be a telltale sign? A telltale sign of what? Because I don't know if I do extreme sarcasm, but I'm rather sarcastic. But anyway, Damien said, I hear you, Sister Preach On. Thank you so much. We're going to go back. Okay, more symptoms of shame. Being more worried about failure than doing something immoral or dishonorable. Being a perfectionist. They do that too, where you gotta be on eggshells with them or else you gotta hit a mouth. Feeling like an outsider, that you are different or left out, or feeling suspicious and like you can't trust others. This is for everybody. This one right here is for everybody born a lion and lioness. See, lions and lionesses are born. Many times we have hyena mothers. Sometimes we've got hyena fathers as well. But you're born that lion. You're born that lioness. That's why you outcasted. Feeling like an outsider, you're different and you're left out. They don't like you. They don't want you around. Shame is heavy for you. Every lioness in here, if she had a hyena for a mother, she'll tell you about the distance between her and her mother, a distance that could not be closed no matter what she did. Only a lioness that had a mother lioness can say she had a really close, healthy relationship with her mom, because her mom was a lioness too. So they actually bonded like healthy mother and daughter. But if you are a lioness and you was raised by a full-blooded hyena, it wasn't nothing you could do to close that gap. Excuse me. Being a wallflower or a shrinking violet, wanting to shut people out or withdraw, trying to hide or be inconspicuous, or not wanting to be the center of attention. That was me as a child. As a child, like school age child, I was a shrinking violet. I did not want to be the center of attention because I knew I didn't belong. The 4 categories of shame behavior. You've got the hot response, you've got behaviors to cope with or conceal shame, safety behaviors to avoid shame or being discovered, behaviors to repair. The hot response. These are things you do when you feel ashamed and defensive, such as lashing out in anger or attacking the other person to deflect attention from yourself. The hot response is usually an impulsive reaction. They get you there. This is an example of that is when you watch these hyenas on panels and they push a man's button specifically with shame and language to get him into the hot response. Now, this works usually with younger men and men that don't have as much emotional discipline as maybe some others. So they'll jump right into being offended and defending themselves. Once you get into the hot response, that's when they hit you with, why you getting so emotional like a woman? Why see you are yelling and stuff like that like a female? So they get you into that space. Then you react rather than respond. Behaviors to cope with or conceal shame. These behaviors include doing things to make yourself feel small, trying to avoid being the center of attention, or not sharing your thoughts or feelings. Concealing yourself is a method of self-protection. This is more so how I would say more females deal with a hyena shaming tactics. I've seen men do this, but I've seen women do it much more. The next one is safety behavior to avoid shame or being discovered. This category of shame behavior might be things like apologizing, crying, or avoiding conflict. People who have a tendency towards being emotional or avoiding conflict may be more likely to engage in safety behavior. This is where you get the silence and the complicity of other women for hyena shenanigans. Women become complicit because of that third one largely. See, they know not to say nothing because now they know that they'll rile the anger of the sisterhood and the hyena clan. And they don't want that smoke. So they go into avoiding it. I'm just going to be quiet. I'm just not going to say nothing. Just let them do what they're doing. It's not bothering me. I mean, to each his own. Excuses. And then you have behaviors to repair shame. These might include things like doing things to soothe yourself or apologizing. You ever seen men start apologizing to these females on these panels after she been extra disrespectful? Then he starts apologizing. What you sorry for? What you sorry for, sir? For example, if you see they start doing the apology. Anytime you see a woman try to hold one of these rabid hyenas accountable, she always got to do a bunch of disclaimers. Oh, well, I ain't trying to do this. I ain't trying to do that. I ain't trying to offend you. And I ain't trying to hurt your feelings. And I'm not trying to invalidate you. And I'm not, see, this is why I don't give disclaimers. Now I want y'all to understand why I don't give disclaimers and stuff. I'm not saying not all. I'm not going to sit here and be like, well, I'm not trying to do this and that with y'all, but y'all got to change. And I'm not doing that with y'all. Because I'm not ashamed to say what I'm saying. And you can't make me shame about it. So it says, to finish it out, it says, for example, if you forgot an important anniversary, you might tell yourself, had a lot on your mind, or engage in gestures to show that you are sorry. This is how they enact it. These are the scenarios where they enact shame. Well, they'll do it to you. You've got transient shame. That's quick, but that's usually something that you did. Other people are not making you be ashamed of it. Let's go into these. What they do, internalize shame. Internalized shame refer to shame that has been turned inward. This is when they do to you as children. For example, those who experience childhood abuse may experience a feeling of being unworthy or feel shame related to the abuse. The other way they do it, exclusions. If you feel as though you are being excluded from the group, not liked by the group, or that you don't belong, you might experience shame about being left out. This type is also common in social anxiety. So they'll start excluding you. We don't like no lanes. We don't like them. We don't like them lanes. Excluding entire demographics of men. We don't like them. We don't like them little lames and stuff like that. Little nerds and blah, blah, blah. We don't like them. This is why I said a long time ago, don't let hyenas divide y'all. And I'm talking to the men. Don't let hyenas divide y'all between the so-called educated lame, because why would she even come up with that backwards? That's a backhanded compliment. Educated lame. You smart, but you lame. And then the Pookie and Ray Ray. See, don't let them split y'all like that. Got factions of black men not liking each other based on who gets access to a hyena or not. And that's just as well as she like it, because that keep the men preoccupied and worrying about the wrong thing. Because any man that has surrounded himself by a gang of hyenas that he got sexual access to, first of all, ain't no reason for no other man to be envious of that man, because all he's doing is surrounding himself by a bunch of narcissistic, low value whores that everybody's got sexual access to in the first place. I don't know how these tricks is still fooling y'all into thinking that sexual access to her is something special when she been passing it out of both draw legs since she was 13, 14 years old. Okay? Don't let these hyenas divide y'all. Men know who are worthy and who are not among men. All I'm saying is the hyena, the gynocrat measuring stick of who's a man and who's not, that's just them trying to assign value to men based on a gynocratic view. But it is men that create the criteria for ranking other men. Men create the criteria for ranking, not hyenas. Men can do their own hierarchies. And it's based on male-centered criteria, who's the top and who's the bottom among men. Thank you, Frederick said Tennessee ain't playing. TD Harden, thank you. So said hyena only cares about is what affects them. Exactly. Thank you, Steve. Said just supporting. I don't hear sisters like you out here in this world. What a blessing. I changed my sound, so we just gonna use this one. And thank you. Thank you, El said 300 likes, shaking my head. Y'all get the likes up and stop playing. Please hit the like button. Thank you so much. Thank you, Jeffrey, for your super sticker. Thank you, DDEC. Says salute, sis. Just one question. Why are they so devoted to being evil? It's almost if they are not human. They think that they're going to benefit. I'm not going to go back to that page because we'll be here another hour. But I wanted to cover deeper shame and how it get used and wielded against us. Us meaning everybody around her. She using any old time that you display an action or a thought or words or behavior that don't overwhelmingly support her, regardless of what she's doing, and actions that indicate that you are exiting the lost value system. She don't like that. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and read these. See if we got any cash apps. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Antonius. Thank you, Real Bravado. Miss Bella Rings. Thank you, Jovar. Thank you again, Antonius. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Cletus. And everyone else that contributed. Thank you so much, because there are people who don't want me to shout them out. But thank you anyways. So anyway, jump down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. All right. All right. Jump down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Once again, I'm your hostess, the Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonite.